A battle without preparation is like a battle without an armor. 1346, the Black Death. 1918, the Spanish flu. 2003, SARS. 2019, Covid19. Some of the pandemics the world had experienced and are experiencing now. Millions of people died. 100 million cases were recorded. Pandemic is probably a word taught to you in school when you were in elementary and junior high school. But you realized what really is a pandemic when COVID happened. As defined by the World Health Organization, a pandemic is the worldwide spread of a new disease, just like what we are experiencing now because of coronavirus disease. But the question is, what should we do when there's a pandemic? What preparations must be done? Today, I will point out 3 things: knowledge, discipline, and self-preparedness. Sounds easy, right? Well, let me tell you. I will use our situation right now as an example. Coronavirus disease, pandemic. During the first phases of this pandemic, we only have limited information about it. Symptoms like dry coughs, colds, sore throat, and fever. It can be transmitted from one person to another through droplets. People were advised to stay at home to prevent the further spread of the virus. Quarantines, lockdowns, and travel restrictions were implemented. Do you think you educated yourself enough about COVID-19? Knowledge is not just about knowing that COVID exists. The public should know what to do, how to avoid getting infected, and what measures should be done when they are experiencing symptoms or had a close contact with the COVID-positive individual. Education will be the primary key to solve this problem. People should be aware of the risks of going outside, and they must know how they can be a solution to this problem. Are you informed about these things? You're lucky. But did you realize what about those people who don't have internet connection, television, radio, or even electricity? What about those people living in the streets? Everyone is advised to stay at home, and as much as possible, don't go outside. But the thing is, what we consider as outside is their home. Gladly, the government and some private sectors are making efforts to address this issue, so no one will be left behind. The second thing I wanted to point out is discipline. It's not enough that you know the precautionary measures. You need to implement them to yourself. Always sanitize your hands and disinfect the things you frequently hold and bought outside. Observe social distancing. Wear face mask and face shield when going outside. Simple wearing of face mask and face shield is something some people can't do accordingly. There's still some who don't wear face mask and face shield outside. Some do, but not appropriately. There are a lot of people who wear face masks but not covering their nose and mouth. The mask is placed on their chin. There are a lot of people who wear face shields but not covering their eyes. What's the point of wearing these things if you won't use it according to its purpose? Discipline is something that it's easy to say, but it's actually hard to do. Is it still sounds easy? Probably yes, probably no. Let's proceed. Self-preparedness. You have the knowledge, discipline, but it doesn't stop there. What's the most important thing to prepare during a pandemic? Yourself. You need to be physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually prepared. When there's a pandemic, there's a high chance that you need to face a great change or shift in your life. You need to pause everything for a second, just like the changes brought by COVID-19 to our lives. We cannot go outside. We cannot meet our friends and loved ones. Students don't go to school physically as education were transformed to distance learning. Some are still work from home. We can't do the things we normally do. That's why it's not our normal lives, but a new normal one. These great changes may result to stress, anxiety, and even depression. This only shows how significant self-preparedness is when there's a pandemic. Three things: knowledge, discipline, self-preparedness. A pandemic is a phenomena that does not occur as frequent as natural calamities. But when it happens, it will last for years. Preparedness is not just for typhoons, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other natural calamities, but also for a pandemic. No one knows when will this pandemic end, and we cannot stop these things from happening again. But being prepared will be your edge in a fight with an invisible opponent. Benjamin Franklin once said, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." After hearing all the things I said, let me ask you, are you prepared?